Hi YouTube, let's call this part 2 with talking about taking seeds from your lilies. I had said the ones that are dry and open on their own, go ahead and take, right? But the green ones, leave alone. And I had someone ask me why, that I shared this with and asked them what they thought. Okay, so I had said earlier, leave the green ones alone, right? Now these, I'd almost bet that if I did open these might be ready. And the only reason I say that, they're not green. Do you see that on the bottoms? Right? They're kind of already kind of yellowy. See if I can find you a nice green one in here. Okay, so these are young, right? Do you see these? But if you were to take this, right? Or I'm going to even say this one, right? And you open it, this is probably going to be what you find. Mother Nature wasn't ready yet. So I said, take the ones that are already open, right? And already have the seeds, and just finish opening them. And the seeds will fall right out. And this is mostly what I'm finding, right? To go ahead and take. So these are the seeds that are already dry. Now, this is one of the ones that, of course, Mother Nature's not ready, and we're never going to get a seed out of that. It's too late. It's gone. You can't save it. These are some of the other ones that I just opened, and if you look, it's really, really wet, right? My thumb is really wet. So these need to be, if you are going to take the seeds from these, you're going to need to lay them out either on a paper sack or paper plate or paper towel, on a workbench, in the edge of your kitchen, dining room, whatever, where nobody's going to be able to mess with them. The fan's not going to be able to, blow them onto the floor, and let them dry out a little bit before you put them in your paper sack or your envelope to store. And then that way you can save. So here are my seeds, and that's how I will store them. We do need to talk about seed sharing, and some states do not allow you to share your seeds. So, you've got to make sure what state you live in, whether you're sharing your seeds or not. Okie doke, because, you may or may not be able to. Now, these seeds, if you're going to do it this year, they need to get put in the fridge for 2 or 3 weeks before you plant them. They need that process to bloom. So if you're going to go ahead and do this, go ahead and put them in the fridge in an envelope or your paper sack, and just put them in the fridge for, say, 2 weeks before you go planting them. Very important as well. And check your state. I am working on cleaning up. I wanted to go ahead and harvest some seeds just because I had a bunch of these. And then I'm going to go ahead. Now, I will tell you though, okay, if you're going to have a storm coming through and you've got these and they already look like they're turning and they're not green, maybe one's popping open but the others aren't, and you definitely want the seeds, and it's going to be 70-mile-per-hour winds, I'd go ahead and clip these, put them on a paper plate, put them in your garage, let them dry out, let them open up on their own, and go ahead and harvest them when they're open more, if you really want. But if you're going to get a green one, it's not going to happen. Mother Nature's not going to be done with it yet, and I've just picked that because I'm going to get enough seeds off of what I really want for me, and then I'm going to go ahead and take all this old stuff and I'm going to clip it and I'm going to cut it off, so that way my Stellas will bloom more for the rest of the season. So you will get more blooms if you take the old growth off. So, once you've harvested your seeds, you have this here, right? Take that off. So that way the plant can put the energy into giving you new blooms. And then that way you'll have these, right? We had yesterday's bloom in there, or day before maybe. You have today's. They're called day lilies. They only bloom for a day. And then this'll open up here in a day or two. So I'm going to go ahead. This is all the stuff that I'm, cutting off. I've got to cut all this, right? Now, this is this is not a Stella. Really pretty. A little taller, right? There's a Stella. This one's taller by about a foot, really. And I'm going to go ahead and cut all this off because it'll start blooming more if I take it all off. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up real quick. And if the only advice I could give you is, if you're going to save your seeds, this one, we had the storm rolled through, 70-mile-per-hour winds, and the seed pods that were on this are gone. They're nowhere to be seen. There's a green one, but don't open that one because it's going to be white, like that other one was that I showed you guys. So, just try to keep an eye on it, watch it. Once it starts to lighten up and look like some of these other ones, like on this Stella, 2 weeks ago, these weren't even blooms that were open. Look more like that. That's some baby blooms, right? You see this? It's new growth down at the bottom. If I take all this old growth off, right, all this junk off, I'm going to get more blooms coming. So I also will go underneath and cut or pull all that old crap at the very bottom of the plant, right? And I'll go ahead and pull that off just because it'll make your flower beds look prettier. So that is it for daylilies. We can talk later about other things. I've got pampas grass, and when you plant it, it does like to travel. I can do a video on that. She put salvia in here. She just wanted little touches of color. That's a whole other video because I'm telling you, it spreads everywhere, and it spreads quickly. I gave away, 18 plants not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. So imagine this whole area full. I'm guessing she started with a couple of plants. And to go off subject, look, it spreads. There's salvia, salvia. Look, if you look at the leaf and the texture, salvia. That's not salvia, that's a weed. Salvia, weed. So pull that out. It travels, so you got to be careful if you're going for well manicured and then all of a sudden you put something pretty in for a pop of color. Is it going to stay? Now the coral bells, yeah, they stay. They don't really travel. I have pampas grass back here, and it's really pretty and kind of hides our meter. But look, pampas grass. It likes to spread, pampas grass. And I had already pulled a lot of this, so you guys didn't get to see it, but, it was like all right here in the middle, and I pulled all of that. So, you got to choose your evils, I guess. But are you going to put salvia so it spreads everywhere? Are you going for pretty manicured? I have been working on giving a lot of that to all my friends, and then do something else with the holes that I've got. Whether it's something different, whether it's maybe a different color of lily, maybe a pink, or, who knows. So I'll think that through and decide on a plan and get that done. But, I'm going to finish harvesting seeds because I have a lot. This is one of the Stellas. I have a lot of seeds. And then the ones that are not ready, I'm going to go ahead and cut because I really don't need 1,000 seeds. Check with your local area. Make sure the laws in the state that you're in. Before you share your seeds, though, I don't want you in trouble, and I don't want you selling them online and then finding out that legally you couldn't, and get in trouble. So I'm going to get off here, get back to work. I can make a video later about the pampas grass if you guys want, and different other things, and I'll try to show you what the flower bed looks like at a later date. I've got to cut the old blooms off from the knockouts, and that way they can start blooming again. So they look really bad right now because they had a million blooms on them, and now they look bad. I just need to do some cleanup on everything. So I'm going to get busy. It's hot out here, and drink some water while I'm doing it, and take care of the pampas grass growing up in between some of my other flowers, and finish harvesting these seeds and do the cuttings and clean up all the lilies, and then that way they'll start blooming some more. But have a great day, guys. Holler if you have any questions. Feel free to leave comments. If you're negative, don't troll me. Don't say anything. I believe we need to lift each other up, everybody for their love of gardening and outside and flowers, and we need to lift each other up, not tear each other down. So if you have anything negative, please don't leave it. You know, work on having a better day, work on trying to be nice and kind and not negative. I see a lot of negative on other YouTube comments, and you know, that's not what I'm about. So I'm just out here trying to share what I know. And you know, it's been weeks and I haven't been in my flower beds. It's been 98 degrees here, and so I'm going to try and do some cleanup and get busy. Have a wonderful day and take care. Happy gardening.